Hello, welcome back again with me, Damien. Thanks for watching. And I just wanted to, I've heard a bit of feedback that it seems to help when I relate information to my experience. And I just thought I'd share something that happened today, which I found quite interesting and very relevant to the topics we're discussing here. So I've named this one Grief Part 3. So I've done the first part. So we're talking about the stages of grief that people go through who are bereaved. Stages 1 and 2 then cover them, and how we can express this pain and this loss. The only way we can as human beings and feeling beings. Interestingly, as I mentioned a couple of times, I've dipped into a couple of times in podcasts, I did lose a partner in work partner. So when you work with someone for a long time, you get really, really close and you get to know them over a long period of time. You technically spend more time with that person than you do with anyone else, and you learn to hate them and you learn to love them and you learn to, the little things that really irritate you and you find that really frustrate you about, significant others in your life. Technically, that partner in work does also have their own frustrations. So there's the really good parts and the really bad parts, etc. The normal human stuff. So I worked with Honora for quite a long time, nine years as partners, and before that, we started in the job 6 months apart. So we're talking 17 and a half years I've known her. I worked with her in a previous station. I didn't work partner with her, but I worked in the station with her in a previous station, and we were very close over the years. And when we worked together, we became really close. So close, it's almost like a very, very close, very tight sibling relationship. You learn everything about each other. You're kind of into each other's lives and histories and stuff like that. So, generally, thought I knew a lot about her. Really loved her and very, very close. And I wasn't aware of her illness. I knew she was sick and I knew she was suffering with certain other things, but I didn't realise how advanced it had gotten, and unfortunately she died. So when I went through the stages of grief, for me it was interesting. It was painful, but it was interesting. So my denial came, shock and denial came at the same moment. The day she died, the night she died, I received a text message, and I'm very grateful for being informed. But I just found the text message really difficult because I thought a text message. I'd known this woman so well for so long, and I got a text message today. Now she's gone. She's no longer in the world. Couldn't believe it. So just absolute shock. Couldn't believe this was happening. This has to be false. This can't be true. Immediately broke down crying. Very, very upset. The normal process. Very angry, as I said. Why did I get a text message? How dare they give me a text message? But like, that's my grief. It wasn't anything anyone did, and through no fault of anyone, that's the way I was told. And so I went through all the stages, and we did the ambulance service, an amazing send off, an incredible send off for her. I thought it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And when we were bringing her to the graveyard, I I was being brave. The man don't feel in full uniform, marching up and standing beside the hearse with our station. And as we rounded the corner in her town, I just seen the amount of lads and ladies, the staff, the people that knew that were familiar were all in uniform, fire service, etc., guards, ambulance service, all lined out, nursing staff. And for someone like Honora, she was such a lovely, warm person. And I immediately got this. I heard her voice, the way she would have said it, and I heard her saying, "This." I would just go, "Wait, this isn't for me." That's how humble she was. She wouldn't have ever been able to believe that she was worth this kind of send off. Anyway, that was April 2022. Now it's January 2023, and people would expect you to be over it and be getting on with your life and doing stuff, but I don't think there's a day that's passed since that I haven't thought about Honora. And funnily, today I wasn't thinking of Honora at all, and I was dressing my daughter. I was putting on or she was going out to school, and I said, do you want a hoodie on you, under your jacket, just to keep you warm? And she said, yeah. So I picked up a hoodie without looking. As I was putting it on, it's a pink hoodie, and I closed it on, and I was just taken back, because one thing in Honora, no matter what she was wearing, she always had a pink hoodie on her, and it just took me back. That second, all my grief came back. Now I couldn't. I felt I couldn't, in front of my children, let myself go, dropped them to school, and then I just was overcome. I cried. I allowed myself to feel. So the point of this video is, these stages of grief that I mentioned, that we go through in denial, bargaining, acceptance, and all these, the way they fluctuate and the way they move in and out of each other, and depression, and anger, and intense anger. I was very, very angry at Honora for not telling me she was unwell. She was so unwell. I was led to believe she was grand. I'd arranged to meet up. We were talking about leaving the job the same day. She had planned on opening a cafe to give to do school lunches for school kids, and I was going to go into private practice, and on my lunch breaks I was going to go up to her. So that was our plan, and I was so enraged that she died. How dare she? How dare she die and leave me to leave my job on my own? That's the irrational part of it. That's the anger, but the loss is very, very real. So I was very overcome today, which I was a little bit taken back with, but I had to sit back and realise that I'm actually still actively mourning. I'm still grieving, or even though it's quite a while, like it's a long time. We can't put a time limit on how someone processes their grief. And the denial piece with me would be, I still to this day haven't visited her. Since the funeral, I haven't visited her grave. So in my own way, I'm denying that she's there, that she's in the ground. And you'd imagine someone has it all together. Nobody has. Everyone has to go through the grief in their own way. So the reality of this is, when someone's mourning, when someone's grieving, and when they're in that kind of pain, it's just to allow them to be in that kind of pain. Try not to make it better, because that's your stuff. That's you trying to make it. I made it better. I made them feel better. Let them feel the feelings and feel their grief. And I know there's incredible people that came to me and tried to help me and talked about how lovely she was and how good she was and how well we worked together, and love this, bitches, and every time we meet you, it'd be just a crack, it'd be great. We have a terrible day and we meet you too, and we know it's going to be great, and this kind of stuff. For me, that kind of felt, and I loved it, I loved hearing it, but I felt that I prolonged my own inability to let her go. So as I say, it's a huge process. It's a very real process, and it's alive in me, and it's very present in people. So we just have to kind of let them, in their own way, express their own pain. So I hope, again, this is again relating it to my history and my experience, and how my process hopefully will help you accept the fact that grief is not linear. It doesn't go straight across. It just fluctuates. And when you're not expecting it, literally I wasn't expecting it today, you can just be overcome. A wave of grief can come, and you can't avoid it. You can't sidestep it. You just have to be overtaken by it. And as I said, it hasn't been a day I haven't thought of it, but at the same time, this is a day where it should be fair enough in people's minds that I won't be feeling it, but that's what's going to happen in people, and our family are the same, and because that's a huge loss. It's an absolute huge loss. But look, again, thank you for watching. I hope some of what I've said shines a light on how people suffer and how people experience grief. And thanks again for watching. I'll talk to you soon.